Being a man, men know men. He had the desires of women like we do.
In fact, they say he had at least 2 girlfriends, dispelling that other rumor.
We had a curtain that covered the back seat. You couldn't see in the back seat. They talked back there, and you know.
So he's making out in the back seat?
Or chewing loud gum.
If you go back and watch the rehearsal footage for This Is It, the concert that Michael never got to do because he died, you'll see Michael talking in his deep voice. So we had certain instructions when we were around him. He wanted his life to be the greatest mystery on earth, because he said if you want people to be interested in you, you need to be interesting. You've got to stay relevant. And there's other people who are very good at that, like Madonna and people like that, you know, awesome at that. So sometimes we'd have to nudge him, and then his voice would go up. All about the mystique, the mask, the sticky tape, the one white glove, trousers too short, the white socks, the loafers. You don't really like that. You get the hotel room with shirt all come off, jeans on, t-shirt on, crack open the whiskey. You've seen the girlfriends. You've got the picture with the women. You know who they are. They've published books. Why don't you go and interview the flipping woman that he was with when he died? Why don't you go to women who he's banging? Because we couldn't sleep at night. Because he's got a woman he's banging all night, you know, because we're sharing the room off his suite. Oh, yeah, we know about that. We know about her, but it goes against the narrative, mate. Anything else you can give us?
You know, he's like, kind of have Mike on the line with you. You know? Mike calls, hello. And as soon as I heard, I hung up. I just literally hung up the phone.
No.
Nah, I was like, man, this nigga playing. He's like, why you playing on my phone? Right? So he calls me back. I said, yo, bro, just put Mike on the phone. Like, stop playing. He said, no, that was Mike. I said, but he didn't sound like Mike. I said, no, that's Mike.
Why he was like, yo, what's up, nigga? It's Mike.
That's what Ebro says he says.
I've heard him. I heard it. I heard Michael Jackson use that word.
His voice is a lot deeper in person, you know. But then when I got on the phone, it sounded deeper than I expected it to sound, you know. So I just didn't think it was Mike.
So what did he say? He was like, "Why'd you hang up on me?"
Nah, he actually was laughing the whole time. Like he laughing at me, thought the shit was funny. But behind closed doors, no makeup, no nothing. Super funny, like cool as a fan, man.
I heard he's really masculine.
No.
You know, even because people look at him like with a high voice,
Right.
they think that he's feminine and so forth.
Right.
But I heard in real life he was not like that at all.
Nah, Mike liked him.
Yeah,
He got it.
yeah. I remember
we
I
actually
interviewed.
we actually had some real conversations. I got to know his type and all that. You know, he liked models. You know, tall, slim models.
Real nigga. He's. I think the reason he liked me because I would just talk to him like a regular person.
Right.
A lot of people around here would just kiss his ass. Yes, Mr. Jackson. Yes. I'm like, nigga, you ain't the only motherfucker that can moonwalk. You know what I mean? So, and he was just a real motherfucker with a healthy sense of humor, nigga. He can set your ass up.
Yeah, I heard Mike was kind of gangster. Like I heard Mike would like beat up his monkey every so often.
The girl is mine.
Your publishing's mine.
This nigga's a gangster, nigga.
Michael Jackson was gangster.
You don't make $1 billion being no punk motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear you say that because, like, I used to hear these rumors from people until I actually talked to a couple of people who said, yo, I know Mike. I've hung out with Mike. That Michael Jackson shit, I'm Mike. He don't talk like that. Nigga got bass in his voice.
I heard that
Mike cusses, motherfucker. So I'm like, to hear that, for whatever reason, I don't know why, for his whole life, he put on that charade. I'm Michael, I'm sensitive, I'm loving it. Mike like pussy. Mike talked with bass. He cursed. Mike was a real nigga. That makes me believe he didn't do it.
But Bubba, so Bubba bit Jay.
Bubbles is the monkey.
Is the monkey. Bubba bit Jay on his arm. And Jay said, Dad, he bit me. And Michael said, he did what? He said, Bubba, did you bite him? He said, Michael said, bam, slapped him to his knees. And Bubba said, I said, what is he doing? Michael said, praying for his life, because he know he done did the wrong thing.
So Michael Jackson beat up Bubbles.
Hit him with an 8-piece.
With an 8-piece?
With an 8-piece. Mike was fast.
Really?
Oh my God.
Michael was flirting with girls right in front of me. Actually.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious because he was very charming.
I bet. It's Michael Jackson.
he made girls just light up, blush, and and like I saw him looking at girls' booty. I said, I saw you looking at her booty. He was like, mm-hmm.
It was actually a large pornography collection of like straight porn, like, kind of stuff I would watch. And at that point I said, okay, That's all nonsense. Michael Jackson seemed like he was a straight man.
Well, when they raided Neverland, and again, it was 70 plus sheriffs raided Neverland, they found hordes of Playboy, Penthouse, and what I call girly magazines.
Right.
And they didn't know how to explain this. He's a heterosexual male who likes to look at beautiful women who are naked.
But this type of stuff I watch. Like this is not gay at all. Like, you know, I mean, you wouldn't have a porn collection that big as a gay man of all straight porn.
Like, who is this? And he says, you call me now, Michael talked like a nigga. For those of you that can appreciate what I'm saying, Michael did not, that little mousy, oh my God, hello. No, that was not Michael Jackson. The tone was there, but the way he talked was very like, hey, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He's like, you called me, what's up? And I'm like, who is this? And he's like, you don't know who this is? I knew who it was, but I wanted to hear him say Michael Jackson. And he said, this is Michael Jackson.
Not even Michael Jackson? Didn't you used to date Michael Jackson?
I used to date Michael Jackson, but we were young.
He ain't had that money yet.
Well, we was doing the Wiz, and we lived on Sutton. Well, not we, but we, he stayed on Sutton Place.
The nigga involved in the sentence, though.
I used to call him a nigga all the time.
Yeah,
and he used to laugh.
I heard he used to use the word. I heard Michael was a nigga.
Yeah, he was a nigga, and he was not soft. People thought he was soft. He was not soft. No, but I used to call him nigga all the time, and he would laugh, him and LaToya.
He a real nigga, ain't he?
First of all, he a real nigga. And his voice is deep as shit. No. It's the craziest thing I ever
What
heard
the
in my
real
fucking
Michael
life.
Jackson voice sound like?
Man, this is a new episode.
Hey, man, hold up. Wait a goddamn minute. Now, you remember I said that shit?
No.
Hold up, man. What the fuck the real Michael Jackson voice sound like?
It wasn't. It was between where you think Michael Jackson is and Prince. It was in between that. It was just like, it was kind of like, I don't have a deep one. Listen, so I think Michael's was like a, so what kind of cartoons do you watch? It was deadpan like that though. It was looking square in my eyes. So what kind of cartoon do you watch?
At a certain point, Michael looked up and said, damn, I thought those motherfuckers weren't gonna never leave. Now, and he says, hold up, and he says this not in, damn, I don't think these motherfuckers will never leave. He says it like a black man would say, damn, I thought the motherfuckers were gonna never leave. Then he got up and walked out. And my friend was saying, he was sitting there like, so this is what I'm talking about, the shape-shifting thing. That voice, read Lisa Presley, his wife, on Michael Jackson. She says time and time again, that voice was a construction. It was a strategy. It was a mask. She said Michael sits around, drinks and curses, and talks in a normal voice. His mind was not only how deep Michael Jackson's voice was like it occurred to him at that moment, this is just a brother from Indiana. It's a dude from Gary, Indiana, he done convinced everybody he's the black E.T. or something. You know what I mean?
He's not stupid. He didn't get where he was because he's stupid, and not. It's unfortunate that not a lot of people know who he really is. He doesn't let anybody see it, and he has some idea about how he should represent himself in the public that he thinks works for him, which is this sort of meek, victim-y, quiet thing that he does, which is not anything like how he really is. So he doesn't let a lot of people see that. When he wants to lock into you, and he wants to intrigue you or capture you or, whatever he wants to do with you, he can do it. He's very capable of doing that, and he was very quick to, the first time I met him, sit me down and go, listen, and I'm not gay. I know you think this, I know you think that, and started cursing, started, being a normal person, and I was like, wow. So I get caught up in that. I'm pulled in right away, like, wow, you're so misunderstood. Oh my God, you're this guy. I fell into this whole, you poor, sweet, misunderstood thing, I'm gonna save you, I fell into that. I fell in love with him, I did. In
love?
Yes, I fell in love, at the time, now.
Sexual attraction?
I told you, everything I said was the truth.
High-pitched voice was fake, that he has a voice like Barry White.
Yeah. Well, it's not quite like Barry White, but at the criminal trial, when I covered the trial, Jackson and I had a little moment outside in the courtyard one day, and he didn't like me. I had covered him for so long, and he sort of growled at me in a big voice and gave me a slash across the throat and get out like that. And I was stunned at how deep his voice really was. but it wasn't quite Barry White.
So what do you think? Do you think that, I'm a lover, not a fighter? Was that put on?
Yes, I think so. Look, his father drummed into all those boys. Jermaine speaks the same way. So does Randy.
Very soft voices.
Right.
Well, when you've got this father that's so abusive, it's going to make you small. It's going to make you very
Do what I
small.
say, and I'll make you a star. And they were the biggest stars when they were children, when they all talk like this.
Yeah.
So they all still talk like this.
He comes in, he's tall, standing there, 2 beautiful women walk in. He kisses one, like full on. It's a moment. It ain't like no peck. It's like a real situation.
Black girl, white girl.
They look Brazilian. So I'm like, wow, he's a G. He just is the king of catching you off guard because he's just like, wow, wow, whoa, wow. So then like we're talking or whatever, and I'm like, man, hello. And I'm thinking it's my friend. And I heard someone eating popcorn in my ear, and that's how I knew it was him. He's just the king. He's just the king of trolling. He's the king, like I think he invented it. So he's like, hangs up. And Justin was like, who is that, Michael? I'm like, yeah. I was like, how did you know? He's like, yeah, man, he does that.
You were friends with Michael Jackson.
I was.
What was that like? What was a night out with Michael Jackson or a night in?
So you want me to kiss and tell then, don't you?
Did you kiss?
Of course.
No.
Of course.
You and Michael Jackson,
I mean, baby, I've been around.
full French kissing.
Yeah, tongue and mouth kissing.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Well, I haven't had the chance to talk about it. No one ever asks me.
So hang on. So who makes the first move? You or Michael Jackson? Who leans in?
Well, I did, if you want to know the truth, because he's a little bit shy.
Yeah.
However, he was a willing accomplice. I did get him to sort of loosen up with a glass of Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it did wonders. It worked wonders.
Wow.
Yep.
Have you ever said that before? That you would?
No.
You and the...
I mean, I may have said it to a friend.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to marry Michael.
Well, she knows.
You know what I want to say? Michael was very much a man, and he was very loving. He was very caring.
You know what?
Because he lived on Sutton Place, and he was filming the Wiz movie, and I used to go over and spend the night, and I would do his laundry.
Wow.
And we would go down to the laundry together. So Michael is not what they're all. He's very real, and and I've never spoke about that, but he's very just a regular kind of guy. Michael is a great kisser. Right? I've kissed him. He's a great kisser. He's a great kisser.
Yeah,
and he's very, very affectionate.
Where'd he kiss you at? In
Where
the
did he
Thriller.
kiss me at? Where do you think he kissed me?
Come on in, ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing.
He's confided in me that certain women that he had relationships with, he wasn't public about any of it because, you don't want the fans to think you're tied down. They don't have that shot of getting to you.
Told me about being on the set of a movie, and one of the leading ladies invited him to her room to watch a movie, and I guess they were saying would be she jumped his bones.
I know some of the stars that Michael had been with. I'll take that to my grave.
Actually, I saw Michael take a girl home from his own party, too.
But I heard him mention this idea of pornography. Well, he's correct. They found approximately 90 girly magazines in Michael Jackson's home. Playboy, Hustler, Penthouse. His fingerprints were on them. He had bought them.
We came past a store, an antique store. There was a life-size horse with an Indian on top of the horse. And he looked in the back seat and said, well, if we didn't have all this stuff back here, we'd get out and take it. And that's when I said to myself, Michael Jackson's got a little hood in him.
What does this dude do?